is.
I heard they shaved a gorilla.
Hello gang and welcome to Displaying Model Behaviour. It is the 2026 Toy Fair and we have a whole bunch of new reveals to talk about. And speaking of talking about things, if you haven't seen my previous videos and you're wondering what is up with your head, Dave, understandable. I had a hair transplant a couple of days ago and we're in the gnarly phase of the healing process. I was thinking about doing a few videos off camera, just showing pictures, but where's the fun in that? So you get weirdo Frankenstein cue ball looking Dave for a couple of days. But you know what? The toy news waits for no one. And it sure as heck isn't going to wait for this hair to grow back. So with all the different reveals out there from just day one, let's talk about them. While not on display at any of the booths at Toy Fair, Hiya have revealed their 1/12 scale Ed 209 figure, and I'm almost disappointed to see this because when they were just making Robocop, I could think to myself, you know what, Dave, it's okay, you don't need it, it's fine. But now we're getting Ed 209 as well, and seeing the pictures of him posed with Robocop recreating the scenes from that first movie. It's not going to be cheap, but I think I might just have to save up a few pennies and get it because Robocop is my favorite franchise of all time, and I've always been yearning for a 1/12 scale definitive awesome looking collection. And knowing Hiya Toys, they love to go deep with their lines. So all I'm thinking is maybe we might even get a 1/12 scale Robocane down the line, which would be incredible. So this Ed 209 has got everything he needs with all the swap out parts to recreate the battle damage from his battle with Robocop, with the missing arm piece and the missiles, all of the blast effects, the smoke. I like it! Actually, I kind of look like a meal at the end of that Robocop movie. So that was one of the biggest reveals of this week. Not actually directly from Toy Fair, but certainly one that has my attention. NECA have been working overtime with their TMNT licenses, doing everything from the 2012 cartoon to the comic books, Mirage, the 87 cartoon. I say 87 cartoon. It is 87. The original cartoon is what I'm saying, and also showing off some of their Fortnite crossover turtles as well. This was one that initially really caught my eye because I thought that's a pretty cool aesthetic, but actually looking at the Fortnite turtles, you know what? They seem a bit too trim, slim, buff. I'm not too keen on those designs. I like some of the extra bits of fashion that they've put on them, but yeah, with the small waists and the kind of slim bodybuilder looking physiques, yeah, I'm not too keen on those turtles. I think if you want to go for a more stylized modern look, there are so many other companies out there that do, I think, slightly more classic versions. Although their Shredder, I must say, I think he does look pretty cool. The cape is conspicuous by its absence, but who knows? These are early, not prototypes, but early examples, so they could always tweak them a little bit further down the line. I do, though, really love their 2012 designs because they're so over the top, really stylized. The big, chonky, ridiculous-looking Slash figure, I think that's awesome. So much fun. And then the really kind of spindly foot soldiers, and then the very sort of stoic, like a tower of a pepper shaker looking Splinter. I dig it. They're really unusual, but I kind of like that. For a more unique take on the Turtles, the 2012 designs, they have a lot going for them. NECA are also going back to Predator Badlands, giving us the end of movie version of Deck, where he has the costume that's been put together with all the various natural elements of the planet, which honestly thought was a little bit silly, but that's just me being a grumpy old stick in the mud. What I thought is kind of cool, though, is we've got his big bad dad as well in NECA form, so that's going to be a cool addition to the Predator ranks. Plus, also, they're doing Deck's brother as well, which confused me at first. I wasn't sure what I was looking at. I guess my visual memory is terrible. I was like, which version of Deck is that? No, that's his brother from the start of the movie. But what I really like the look of is they're doing a movie poster box set style presentation of the City Hunter from Predator 2. That could really get me to part with some money, because I love Predator 2. Is it kind of a trash sequel? Yes, but it embraces it. And because of that, I've got a lot of love in my heart for that one. We also have some more Friday the 13th Jason Voorhees figures. That's always wicked to see. I love me some Friday the 13th, and us Jason fans are long-suffering, just like his victims. Well, actually, they don't suffer for long. It's normally pretty quick in those movies. But with all the licensing rights issues, they've been going on for decades, so it's always difficult to get consistent projects and merchandise going. But NECA, they've secured these designs, and I love the fact that all of these Jasons come with unmasked faces, so we can actually see what the super gruesome face from Jason Goes to Hell looks like. And then we've got the Tom Savini Nightmare Jason too. And then one that kind of threw me, I was like, wait a minute, that's not Jason, but it's one of the big bruiser bad guys from Dead by Daylight, who is clearly, got some Jason inspiration going on there. So some really fun horror figures also coming from NECA. And because nothing is sacred in this world anymore, we're getting some horror Fortnite crossover figures from NECA. So we're getting Michael Myers, the Saw puppet Billy, that's it, isn't it? And Leatherface as well. And of course, they come with some ridiculous over-the-top accessories because it's Fortnite, so they have to have their own weapons as well. Hey, look, when I say nothing sacred, I'm joking. Buy what you want, love what you want. If you enjoy it, that's awesome. I mean, to be fair, who doesn't want Michael Myers with an electric keyboard strapped around himself so he can play his own theme tune? I mean, why have we not had that already? It feels like NECA are only just beginning to cook, because we're going to go from hideous, terrifying horror to the most wonderful, nostalgic childhood memories with their DuckTales line. And oh boy, life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. So we're getting Scrooge McDuck, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, along with Launchpad McQuack and Gizmo Duck. All of these look wonderful, done in the same sort of style as their 87 Turtles cartoon figures, where it just looks like they have taken them from the cartoon and just made them into a 3D thing. I mean, that's literally what they have done, but you know what I mean? It's perfect. It looks like a perfect recreation of the 2D artwork. I love that so much, especially Gizmo Duck. I think that just looks so good. So this line, it's a labor of love. You can see there's a lot of people clearly at NECA who love this franchise, grew up in the 80s, and now we've got these action figures. They're going to be coming out later this year. And honestly, I think a lot of people are going to be very happy with them. Also from NECA, we're getting some Jim Henson favorites. We're doing not only more Sesame Street, but we're doing the Muppets as well. The Muppets figures are very early prototype examples, but also they look kind of good to go. So everything has the little label of not the finished article. But I mean, come on, they look pretty finished to me. I adore the Muppets. I'm enjoying the new show on Disney Plus as well. For me, I think I might go Sesame Street. If I was to get one thing, I love the Oscar the Grouch in the trash can. I just want to have that in my general street scene diorama. I think that looks wonderful, but so much nostalgia. Just like with DuckTales, all these things that we grew up with, wonderfully recreated in action figure form by NECA. This company is seriously cooking in 2026. Mondo had a fantastic looking booth at Toy Fair this year. No brand new reveals, but a whole bunch of showcases for stuff that we're looking forward to. For me, mostly the 1/12 scale He-Man figures, the Motu 2000 designs. They look absolutely amazing. They really do. Expensive, of course, but hey, isn't everything these days? You might as well enjoy taking a little look at the work that they've done. I think He-Man and Skeletor, both of those look absolutely phenomenal. And then similar when it comes to cartoons and price points, they've got the real Ghostbusters on display too. And of course, we have seen these revealed before, but just getting a closer look at them and how just like NECA have done with their DuckTales, they have perfectly recreated the cartoon likeness in three-dimensional form. Honestly, even more so, even better, smoother. They just look like that better quality, but then again, they should be. They're about double the price. So, you get what you pay for. And with Mondo, you're going to be paying a lot. But hey, the proof is in the pudding. And the pudding does look tasty. I'm sorry, I haven't had lunch yet. You know, I can only imagine that NECA must have had a strategy meeting recently and someone would have said, hey, so what action figures are we going to make next year? And the answer was, yes, all of them. Because that's what they're doing. Literally everything. And God bless them for it. We're getting the McDonald's characters. I never would have thought this would be something. In the year of our Lord, 2026, we're getting a wave of McDonald's mascots. And honestly, I'm kind of here for it. So we got Grimace, we got Hamburglar, we got a few stand-ins as well to show what is going to come. I think this is just kind of wonderful, but that's because I'm 44 and I'm a child of the 80s who grew up in that era of beige restaurants with ashtrays on the tables and everything being like a little bit grimy, but kind of great as well. And that's what this reminds me of. It was a halcyon time, and I love that we're having it recreated in action figure form. So NECA, these are early, of course, hence some of the stand-in little cutout figures. But just to see that this is a line they're going to be moving forward with, once again, they know who their target demographic is. They know who has the spending power. I mean, I don't, but other people my age do. And they're catering to exactly that market. And God bless them for it. McFarlane have been showing off a lot of their statues as well. The Venom one in particular, I really love that McFarlane Venom. It's not the first time we've seen it, but just getting another look, I'm like, dang. So pretty. I love that design. But also, they got a bunch of their Marvel rival statues out on display as well. And this just gets things cooking in the old mind palace, where I imagine, what would these be like? A little bit of articulation. I tell you what, they could be some pretty darn cool action figures. Statues are nice, but they're not really my cup of tea. I like to have a little bit more of a play factor with my characters. But the designs, if you do want to go for the fixed pose, rock solid looking characters, I gotta say the McFarlane designs and the execution are exactly that. Rock solid. Now we've got the McFarlane Turtles, and these are the page punches variety from the more modern comic books. And I've never seen the Turtles in this Japanese style armor. I dig this look. Very, very cool, and a lot of detail going on from McFarlane as well. I'm genuinely quite impressed with these. These page puncher figures, when I saw the initial promo shots, and these weren't even the ones in armor, but the other regular Turtles, I was like, nah, that doesn't really do much for me. But seeing them in hand when I was in Hong Kong a few weeks ago, genuinely impressed. They look a lot better in person. And now we're getting these, I don't know, it's not samurai armor, is it? I'm not a Japanese military historian, but it looks more like rank and file soldier type armor. Whatever it is, I think it works. It looks very cool, and it's a fun new take on the Turtles. Ladies and gentlemen, for democracy, we are getting Helldivers 2 figures from McFarlane Toys. I kind of love this because I have a lot of very fond memories of playing Helldivers 2 over the last couple of years with my boys, and it's always such a good, fun, ridiculous time. And what do I always say about McFarlane Toys? I don't like their human characters, but armor, mechs and monsters, that's where they shine. So these Helldivers figures, they look great. Very similar to the Warhammer Space Marines in that there's no real human on display. It's just all the armor. So that looks cool. I really think that works. And heck, if they start doing the enemies as well, the bugs, the automatons, that could be amazing. So just seeing these first examples, I really dig the look of them. Don't know how deep they'll go with the line, but this initial offering, I think it looks pretty awesome. McFarlane Toys have also shown off a whole bunch of their upcoming Mortal Kombat figures, and I have to say, I'm a little bit turned around on their Mortal Kombat characters. I was very disappointed when I saw the original offerings. The pictures, I was like, these are, it's just more of the same, McFarlane. I'm just not a big fan. But actually seeing them in person, especially the ninjas, I thought the details, the paintwork, it looks a lot nicer. And now that we're seeing they are going a lot deeper with the roster as well, this big old 90s kid is getting one over. I mean, Ermac, the red ninja, I love all the palette swaps. I'm a sucker for a palette swap, which must be music to the ears of toy manufacturers. Like, really, Dave, you want to buy the same figure again, just in a different color? Okay. But yeah, seeing the different versions they're doing as well. You got the 2-packs, you got Invisible Reptile, you got the Ice Frozen Sub-Zero. We got Jade coming out as well. There's a Johnny Cage. They're clearly going deep on the line, but we haven't seen any monsters yet. No Goro, no Kintaro. If they start moving in that direction as well, McFarlane may have lost the DC license, but maybe lost isn't the right word. Maybe chose to let go because he's clearly got a whole lot to keep him busy. Speaking of McFarlane having a whole lot to keep him busy with, we got a good glimpse of their upcoming extra comic book figures that are outside of the DC universe. So, first of all, Hellboy, which looks real nice. 2 different versions. We got the shaved down horns with the soft goods trench coat, and then the more demonic one with the flames. And this looks real nice. I mean, Mike Mignola's artwork is so kind of blocky and stylized. It translates beautifully into action figure form. And we have seen a lot of Hellboy action figures. Well, now we're getting some more. They also had their Elite Doomslayer on display, but a big set was, of course, the Savage Dragon figure, and also Shadowhawk as well, along with them showing off their first appearance Spawn. Now, these look really good, but what does worry me a bit is that I think these are elite figures, which means like a really expensive price tag. And looking at Shadowhawk and Savage Dragon, yeah, I love that we're getting these figures, but I'm going to reserve judgment because if they are elite and we're talking about $60 for a figure, I don't know about that. That's not so much steep as it is bloody vertical. So time will tell. I'll wait for the full official releases. They're great to see, but I'm going to temper my expectations. McFarlane are going back in time as well with some of their Spawn characters, giving us versions of some 90s classics like Curse of Spawn, which was a figure I had, and I say 90s, maybe he was early 2000s. Let's not split hairs, shall we? Now is not the time to be splitting hairs. But I love seeing the Curse of Spawn recreated with modern articulation and action figure technology. That looks really, really nice. Again, monsters. So that's what Todd McFarlane does so well. This one's no exception. I'm always happy to see a new version of Spawn, each one more monstrous than the last. Nacelle had a real big showing at Toy Fair this year, giving us a huge blast of 80s and maybe 90s nostalgia. My memory gets a little bit spotty, but we've got everything from Sectors to Cowboys of Moo Mesa and a whole bunch of other ones in between as well. As I said at the start of this video, too much to list individually, but you can see that they are going deep with these lines here. And I do love that because these are classic old cartoons, it's very easy. Well, not easy. I'm not saying the toy creation is an easy thing to do, but you can translate them from 2D to 3D almost perfectly. So it's kind of the action figure that we would have always wanted as a kid, but done with modern technology. And then there's Sectors, which is almost exactly the action figures we had as kids. They're like, hey, you remember the bug puppet characters? Well, yeah, I guess they thought, you know what? They perfected it in the 80s. Let's just do it again. So Nacelle, they're tapping into our childhood and they are doing it in a big way. And honestly, they've put in the work. So I hope it pays off for them. One thing that I thought was a real surprise from NECA was them revealing the pre-order details for their upcoming Batman movie figures and the fact that they're less than $50. Genuinely, when I saw these revealed and I thought, okay, they're 8-inch, soft goods, a whole lot of photoreal likenesses, these have got to be at least like $60. Clocking in at $44.99, hey, look, that is still a big chunk of money, and I can assure you that don't grow on trees. I've tried. That is a genuinely surprising price point. I thought it was going to be a lot more, especially for the DC license as well. I don't know, I guess Warner Brothers must like them. So if you are a hardcore Tim Burton Batman fan, then maybe you're going to be pretty pleased about this, because these figures look real nice with the soft goods as well. Clocking in at less than $50, I would call that a win. Sneak Attack Toys are showing off their Denver the Last Dinosaur. And if you want to talk nostalgia, I mean, actually, this should be the theme of this year's Toy Fair. Nostalgia, out the wazoo. But Denver the Last Dinosaur, that was my Saturday mornings right there. He's my friend and a whole lot more. This, I think, I'll double check. I think this might be the start of a Kickstarter project to actually get Denver off the ground. I'll double check that when I do the edit. But I mean, it's Denver, the last dinosaur. He's my friend and a whole lot more. I could go on, but you don't want me to do that. But looking at these pictures, clearly someone is a big fan of that franchise. Of course, I have to talk again about Marvel Legends reveals. Won't linger on them because I had a whole other video. But we're getting Professor Hulk. Love that. It's funny, there were a lot of comments that I got on my video with people lamenting that, oh, they're just reusing the old Hulk body. But I don't think they are. I mean, maybe the arms are the same, but the legs, the body, the head, like everything else is new. Some people were disappointed that they're single joint elbows. I appreciate that. I totally can see that complaint, but also, I mean, with a big, thick, chunky character like that, it is difficult to do double joints. It doesn't always mechanically work. Although they could have maybe tweaked it a bit, kind of like their Gamerverse Wolverine to give slightly more extension, but I wouldn't lose too much sleep over that. Also, a few people were saying, oh, it'd be great if he came with like the huge, big, gigantic cannon that Professor Hulk has in a lot of the artwork, but that probably would have added an extra $20 to the figure, and it's not cheap. I mean, I think it's about $50 already, so let's just... I'll take it as it is, thanks. Also, we had the Aaron Davis armored spider. What am I trying to say? Spider armor. Iron Spider. Wow. Words are hard, clearly. But yeah, that looks kind of cool, and not just a repaint of the original Iron Spider. It does have like new Waldos and a whole lot of different stuff on there as well. So credit for that. And a few other people were asking, why didn't I talk about the Punisher mech, which was on display? Well, that was just because they did show that mech about a month ago on their last Hasbro Pulse stream, so it wasn't a brand new reveal, but it was cool to see it on display. So Marvel Legends, they're going for a lot of big, chunky deluxe figures, and honestly, I think that might pay off for them, because from the general gist of what I've been hearing, a lot of folks are happy to see them. Playmates have been showing off more of their Ninja Turtles Godzilla crossover figures. Kind of love that. I kind of love any kind of crossover because it's just fun. You know, your brain might wonder, what would this thing look like smooshed up with that? Well, this is what these would look like, and I genuinely kind of love them. So before Playmates relinquish the license for TMNT over to Mattel, they're having some fun with them. They're getting a little bit weird, and genuinely, I kind of dig the results. I'm very tempted to at least pick up the Leonardo Godzilla mashup. That one kind of sings to me. Playmates are not done there with their Godzilla mashups, because Power Rangers are also getting the kaiju treatment. And this... I kind of love it for what it is, but also these figures are a bit more basic. They're not like the super highfalutin adult collector bells and whistles action figures. They're a little more cheap and cheerful, but I do love the designs. I mean, taking Tommy's Dragon Zord and literally turning it into Godzilla with power armor. I mean, Godzilla with power armor, that just feels a bit like overkill to me. But then giving all the different Power Rangers their own unique kaiju mashup, oh, I really love that. I really do. So once again, Playmates having a whole lot of fun combining these two licenses. I really like the results. Oh my goodness, G.I. Joe Classifieds could have an entire video dedicated just to themselves. They have been so busy. They've been cooking so much up in the kitchen. I'm not going to linger on any one thing for too long because we'd be here all day. But I'm going to read out just a little list of everything that we've got so far with the reveals, and you feast your eyes on what they have to show you. So first of all, we've got the brand new character who is Sundown, who has this cool kind of cowboy aesthetic, but also with, is this some Aztec kind of designs going on here as well? I'm interested to find out what the backstory is for this character and the inspiration for the look. Also, of course, we've got the Don Moreno Snake Eyes. There's Overkill, so crazy looking cyborg dude. Then we've got the Hydro Viper, again, getting real weird with our G.I. Joe characters, and then also Arclight as well. Then we're going to get a big deluxe Professor Rotclaw with his Cobra Raptor as well. Again, like cyborg raptor. Why the heck not? Love that craziness. Then we have Zanya on her Dreadlock Chameleon vehicle. Then also we're going to be getting Red Dog and Taurus, and those will go to complete the Renegades team. After that, we're going to go much more realistic, and we're getting the Action Soldier Special Forces Legacy figures. So kind of like their policemen and firemen, they're going more real world with these ones, and again, it looks like a real hyper-detailed labor of love with all the accessories there. Then we get the Diatech takeover of Cobra with the Walmart exclusive Night Creeper figure. And also the Ninja Force Zartan, that's going to be hitting Target pretty soon. And even after rattling off all of those, I'm not 100% certain that I've definitely covered everything. But you know what? It's hard to keep up with G.I. Joe Classifieds. They are just knocking these things out so fast and furious. And honestly, every time I see a new reveal, I'm like, yep, it's another banger. I really love following this line because it's just fun, ridiculous, and a good time to keep track of. And folks, that does it for the day one recap of Toy Fair. But as I said, that's kind of just scratching the surface with some of the choice cuts that I saw, because there is so much stuff on display. It's absolutely bonkers. There's a ton of stuff that we have seen previewed before. They're bringing it out again, and it's just a spoil of riches, quite frankly. But gang, what are you most excited for? Comment below and let me know, because 2026, I think, is going to be a really fun year to be following the toy industry. There's so much new stuff coming out and so many new licenses being tackled by new manufacturers. So there's a lot to be excited for, and I'm glad that I can follow it along with you. So if you enjoy this channel, then if you want to give me a thumbs up, I'd be very, very grateful. And if you wanted to support this channel even more, then we do have the YouTube channel memberships, which mean you can take part in the daily channel member live streams that I do, where we catch up on all the news of the day, hang out, shoot the breeze, and, well, that's what we do. Do we do other things? I don't know. You have to be a channel member to find out. So gang, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Coffee, big time.